And back at home, economists have predicted a slow turnaround in Alberta's oil industry, and that has many in Lloydminster wondering if any positive impacts have been felt so far. Chantel Germo has more on what local businesses have been experiencing.
Many are bracing for the steady growth of the oil industry. Businesses in and around Lloydminster that feel the prosperous trickle-down effect have been using the downtime to plan for the future.
So a lot of what we hear from our members at our events regarding more so the economy in general, and with Lloydminster's economy being so linked to the oil industry, is that they're cautiously optimistic. So I think the attitudes in Lloyd have changed and people do have the optimism there.
Many people have moved away from Lloydminster in search for other jobs since the downturn in the economy, and the Realtors Association of Lloydminster are continuously experiencing that hit, even now.
I wouldn't say we've seen a lot more sales than from the start of the year. I mean, maybe a slight number, but we still have a large amount of inventory. You know, it seems like every time there's some properties come off the market, a few more go on, and so it keeps balancing itself out.
But as warmer days approach, people use this time to look for properties, especially for those moving into town as the oil industry slowly climbs the uphill trek. When people moved out, many houses went up for sale.
It's just the consumer confidence. You know, there's that segment that isn't 100% sure that, am I going to have a job, or, you know, is there going to be some stability with work? You know, if we can get past that hurdle, I think things will start picking up again.
So we will have the trickle-down effect of if the oil industry picks back up, the other businesses can pick back up as well.
The problem we're running into right now is with the uncertainty in oil, no one can really know for sure what the recovery time is going to be or how long it's going to take.
Topley adds that businesses just have to wait and see what the future holds to confidently say that the oil industry has or will affect them in a positive way for the future. Chantel Germo, Newcap News.
Getting a commercial airline in Cold Lake has been a turbulent topic at City Council for years, but now discussions are starting to pick up speed thanks to changes in federal legislation. The city wants to have an airport similar to the one here in Lloydminster.
What we are trying to do is just do the passenger service where you get ticketed and you get your body screened and your baggage is screened, and you can fly right into Calgary International Airport and away you go.
Copeland says they're in the process of getting a lease agreement with the Medley Terminal on the four-wing Cold Lake Air Base and are working with the Canadian Air Transport Security Agency on screening legislation.
And so now it's just going out and trying to get a carrier interested in coming to Cold Lake. We all know the economy is in rough shape right now, and so the idea is to work with a carrier to try to entice somebody to come into Cold Lake.
The city plans to speak with multiple carriers in June. Well, as the weather continues to warm up, the Lloydminster SPCA is preparing for another large influx of cats following last year's record number of strays. The shelter is asking for the community's help in managing the population explosion.
The reality, it's not sustainable for us if we're dealing with the numbers of cats coming in that aren't getting reclaimed.
Shelter Director John Punchon says most stray cats have a home, but just 7% of animals are reunited with their owners. He encourages residents to ensure their pets have identification.
A lot of people just don't think to check at the SPCA. And for us, it's really hard because a lot of these cats that do come in don't have any identification. They don't have a microchip or tattoo or a license. So it makes it extremely difficult for us to try and find the owner.
Punchon adds everyone can help control the stray cat population, starting with their own pets.
Really, the most important thing is spaying and neutering. If you're going to have your cat going indoors and outdoors, even if it's not, getting it spayed and neutered is going to help reduce the number of unwanted litters.
He also advises residents to canvass their own neighborhoods, either in person or on social media, before bringing possible strays to the SPCA. Well, from being a member of the military to owning a family cheesery, a local man and his family are bringing artisan cheese to the Lloydminster area. Angie Mellon has the cheesy story.
The Old School Cheesery has been producing artisan cheese since September.
It's been a long dream. I've been working at it for close to 6 years.
People have definitely been letting us know that they like the quality, they like the fact that, the rest, like the ingredients list is like 4 ingredients. It makes them feel more confident knowing where their product's coming from.
Military to the cheese business is not an ordinary career transition, but something his family has supported the entire way.
I was in the Army for 25 years, and when it was time to retire, I was looking at what I'm going to do when I grow up. I always say that. And I was talking with my wife, and she says, "You like cheese? Why don't you just look into it?"
I've loved the idea of a family business my whole life, and ever since he's mentioned it, I've just been really infatuated with it. And now when he said opening up a cheesery, I said, okay, I'm on board with that.
Starting the business was expensive, but with the Kitscoty Cheesery selling their equipment, they are able to make their dream a reality.
When they were closing down and we were looking to acquire new equipment, it was just the right timing. It saved us a lot. All the basic tools are the same.
Although they produce several types of cheese, their best seller is the cheese curd.
So then we've been slowly, showing people around here what the real cheese curd is. And ever since it's just taken off, people are really liking that fresh, squeaky cheese curd.
The cheesery is now planning to expand to include goat's milk.
We definitely plan on building that facility soon to house the goats. And then once we have that, they'll have their facility, and then we'll be able to start milking them, getting into more varieties of cheeses.
Angie Mellon, Newcap News.
Middle and high school jazz bands in the Lloydminster Public School Division are gearing up for one of their signature events. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we get a sneak peek into rehearsals for the Just Jazz dance. This jazz ensemble is preparing for the LPSD's Big Band Dance in May.
A night full of jazz music which features our ensemble and then all of our middle school jazz bands as well.
But along with the music and dancing, the night doubles as a fundraiser.
It goes to fund band camp scholarships for our concert band and jazz band students.
Playing their entire repertoire of music since the beginning of the school year, they're into their final month of rehearsals before the event, practicing twice a week.
Most of it is just covers of songs, and same with the younger bands, but there's always soloing, so every piece is going to be unique every time you play it.
In her final year of high school, Jade Shavak says this performance will be a memorable one.
It's my last time doing it ever. It's going to be a really interesting experience. It's always fun. There's always dancing.
Ryan Olson has been playing jazz since grade 8. He's also been a part of the Big Band Dance twice before.
I'm really excited for the next one. It just gets better and better. I just love seeing all the bands come together and play together, and it's really fun just to dance with your peers and just to get out there and play.
It seems that each year it builds an excitement and intensity, and it's just really nice to see.
This is Newcap Sports.
CPCA chuck wagon season is nearly here, but before the horses and wagons hit the track, the tarps need to be sold. Lance Phillips was at the stockade last night for the 2017 version of the CPCA Finals Tarp Auction.
It was quite an evening with 22 of the top drivers in the CPCA circuit on hand, giving chuck wagon fans an opportunity to buy a small space on their wagons. The big winner was Chris Molly, who came away with $20,000 for his tarp.
Oh, good. Yeah, I sure didn't expect that. And a big thanks to PWM Steel again. And Paul and Val, what they've done over the years is huge. And it's just, words can't express what they've done.
They don't have to do it. It's not a necessity for them. Basically, they have to love the chuck wagon racing to get involved with it. And that makes it tough for some of them to spend the money. And every little bit helps us to go down the road every year.
Though the economy's been slow again this year, it didn't discourage bidders from spending a total of $122,000.
They love their chuck wagon racing in Lloydminster. All over our tour, they love their chuck wagon racing. So the stands are packed, and it starts off right here with the tarp sale. When it's packed, it just starts the year off great.
Oh, exactly, and it does. And it just, goes back into the business of buying horses, feed, harness, making things look good, because, at the end of the day, we're putting on a show and representing the sport and, trying to build our sport as well.
Now the focus turns to training and getting ready for the start of racing in early June, a thought that brought instant smiles to drivers' faces.
I can't wait. We started spring training here a couple weeks ago, and it's just, I can't wait.
I've had a couple down years, and I feel that this year is going to be a turnaround year, and I can't wait to get going. I started training the horses today. My hired hand did, and she's gung-ho to go, so I just can't wait to get going.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
The time coaches get away from their respective sport is time they cherish, considering once the season's over, a new one begins. One that involves finding new dynamic players to replace outgoing team members. Lance Phillips was at Rustlers basketball camp this weekend, getting a first-hand view of the newest Lakeland Rustlers recruits.
Saturday's opportunity for Rustlers head coach Chris King to get an up-close and personal look at some of his newest recruits is a critical step for a program expecting results similar to its 24-win season from 2015-2016.
Really excited with what I see on the floor. A lot of talent. The grade 11 kids look strong. Same with the grade 12s. Obviously, we're making it look a big step with our program for next season, and the kids we need to bring into our program need to be pushing for a starting spot, and that's really the goal. We're not looking for kids just to fill a spot. We want them to push our vets, and that's how we're going to get better.
One of those players is Brianne Herget. Playing with last season's national champion Lethbridge Kodiaks, Herget brings a multitude of talents to Lakeland.
A lot of energy. I like to be very fun and positive, so a lot of fight, like a lot of energy to fight and push through, because it definitely takes, it takes a fight to win.
Brianna's looked really good already to start. Just having that size and aggressiveness, obviously her experience winning nationals will help us out a ton, but having another big body with Shania to battle and practice and then to push other teams is going to be a huge help for us.
As an elite dual sport athlete, Bailey Johnson played volleyball for the University of Saskatchewan last season and is thrilled to bring her basketball talents to the border city.
I love what I see. I'm so excited to play with these girls. It's so great to, come out here and already feel like part of the team, even though I just signed type thing.
Bailey's already showing what we saw in high school out of her. Very good jumper, can get over top of people, a little bit raw skill set wise, but I think that's really going to come, and you can see she's got a level to compete, which we really love.
The surprise of camp may have been a young player not yet eligible to play for the Rustlers, but that certainly didn't stop her from showing she's ready now.
It's a good experience and stuff, and it makes me play better, and it makes me feel good when I can see that I can compete with them, and it makes me better to play better people and stuff.
She reminds me of almost like a Russell Westbrook type of player, very high motor, and I know that's a cliche word for coaches to use, a high motor, but she's always getting after it, very physical. I think her upside is extremely high. I don't think she's quite aware of how good a player she can be, but as you can see out of here, a lot of her finishes are goofy foot or a little unnatural, but she finds a way to score and she finds a way to rebound the ball, which is obviously something coaches love.
At the end of camp Saturday, optimism between coaches and scouting staff was high, and for good reason. There was clearly lots of talent on the court, but more than that, there was work ethic. Work ethic that wasn't present on parts of last year's team. And with those parts now gone, the door is open to wearing green and gold. And for some of these girls, it's now up to them to walk through it. Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.